Hi, everybody. This is Jennifer O'Brien with the Student Opportunities and Academic Advising Hub. And today I'm here with my colleague Ashley Kilburn in the Registrar's Office. And we are here to answer some really hot topics when it comes to pre-registration, and that is points and passcodes, pins, all of those fun questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Ashley right now so she can talk a little bit about the difference between passcodes and pins and some of the confusion that surrounds that with pre-registration.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley Kilborn. I work in the registrar's office, and I'd like to share the difference between the PINs and passcodes. As Jen said, that is a very common question that we get asked. So the difference is that the PINs are going to come from the department in some way. So there are two different types of PINs. There's a consent of instructor PIN and a consent of department PIN. A consent of instructor PIN is tied to each individual instructor and would be needed to either override a prerequisite for a course that you're looking to get into, or if the course itself has a COI on it, in which case you would reach out to that instructor, and if they approve, they would give you their PIN. The consent of department PIN will come from the department chair. You can also ask the admin assistant for some help there if you're having trouble connecting, but that will come from the chair of the department. And passcodes are unique to students and pre-registration. Every student has their own individual passcode. All passcodes and PINs are 6-letter characters long. There are no number values, so not to mistake the 0 and the O. And so that's a little bit about PINs and passcodes. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Let me go ahead and pass this on to Jennifer. And the question that I'm going to pose that we also get asked are about points. So Jennifer, can you tell us a little bit about points?
And thank you so much, Ashley. So points are definitely probably the biggest question we get as the staff advisors in the advising hub. How many points do I put on a class? Is there anything that guarantees I will get this class? And we know that this is a point of stress for students. So we definitely want to start by first explaining that you get 40 points to allocate between your blocks 1 through 4 class. You also have 40 points that you put towards 5 and 8, even though we're only drafting for that spring plan right now. So you're officially submitting for fall with those 40 points. You actually can submit pre-registration without using points, but we don't recommend that. You have your 40 points to use for a reason, so definitely use all of those points, even if it means you're putting higher numbers on certain classes and zeros on others, but use all of those 40 points. So we want to kind of show you some tips and tricks for navigating that. If you visit the registrar's webpage, they actually have a list where you can see reports based on the last couple of years' points and what our students were looking at. I really want to stress, though, that this is very dependent on every academic year. Courses can really vary by who's teaching them, what blocks they're offered, what type of course the sequencing is in. So there can be so many factors with why a class is higher one year, why it might be lower the next year, or why you may not want to do exactly what's reported in these scenarios. Um, but we do want to take a look at what happened this last spring so that you can navigate how to read this report a little bit. There is actually data for every class that we offered last spring, but we're going to kind of start with one that does show us a little bit of variety in the terms of what students did bid on those classes. So for example, right here, we're looking at an Art Studio class, Art Studio 102. You can see that CRN, you can see the course ID at the top. And so over in that right-hand corner, it is showing us that there was a limit in this class of only 16 students, but the demand was actually that 27 students applied. So that in itself can indicate that this might be a little bit of a higher bid class. There was 11 students waitlisted, and the minimum points needed to get into this class was 10. So what this graph down here is showing us is how many students were placing what amount of points on this class, how many students placed 10. As you kind of scroll through this data, you can see that there was a student who put all 40 points on this class. That may be because they really just needed this class to graduate. That doesn't mean that's necessarily how many you should put or how many the class needs. But it will show you in great detail how many students put how many points on this class. So this can be a way to kind of help you navigate what you think you might want to put on a certain class. One thing, again, that I want to stress is that really students should always prioritize what they themselves need the most. So If you're looking to get an all college requirement out of the way, whether that's a lab requirement, a social inequality, or a global cultures, that might be your priority. If you're really looking to sequence through a major, so you really need a gateway class, such as your intro to chemistry class or your intro to psychology class. Sometimes those intro classes can be your high bid class as well. So you might be looking at prioritizing those as being your higher bid class. So again, the way I really help students kind of break this down when you're entering those 40 points into your schedule is to start with your favorite, your top choice class, put the highest number you want to go there, and then work your way down. There may even be several classes that actually require 0 to little points. So that may be helpful in terms of where you want to put the bulk of your points on. And of course, the registrar's office, the advising hub are here to walk you through this as well. You can make appointments specifically on the advising hub webpage with any staff advisor. So we would be happy to do one-on-one virtual appointments with you at this point to help you kind of navigate what we think you should put on points, but we're never going to probably give you an exact number for what you should be putting on a class because we just ourselves don't know, and we want you to help make a decision that works best for you. So if a class means the most to you, that'll be where you prioritize that. So we'll walk through your goals with you and help you kind of figure out how you should place those points.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We hope this video was helpful to you as you navigate through pre-registration. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.